good, my people? Welcome to today's segment, and I'm so happy to be here again. So, in today's topic, we're going to be handling a live project on how we can basically analyze a data set in MySQL, and I will show you step by step on how to import the data set, on how to now manipulate the data set to get a good information. But do you know the beautiful thing about it is that I am not going to be the one analyzing it. It's going to be a question. So I've generated questions that I'm going to be asked, like how it's going to be asked by those people, basically. Do you understand? And I'm going to analyze a data set that is friendly to everyone. So basically, we are coming to the end of MySQL, and I'm like, what can I do? How can I make MySQL ending, nice, memorable? And I was like, you know what, I'm going to handle a live data set with real life question. So if you're excited for that particular thing to happen, kindly hit the like button. Come on, hit on the like button, because when you hit on this like button, you give the zeal to other people as well. Don't enjoy this content alone. Share it to other people that are in this field with you. If you know you drive inside or you understand the lecture more clearly, send it to other people, or people that want to start up and basically they don't have a helping hand. Come on, don't be selfish, send it. So one thing I think I didn't show you guys from the beginning was how to save your file. I think I've already saved this one. This is day 11 and day 12. If you can remember the last class, this is where we stopped at. So one thing you always do if you want to save MySQL script, you come to your file, you click on save script as, then it's going to open up your folder. You go straight to that your document. Remember our Blue Ghost Insight, you will now save it with that name. So this is day 11 and day 12. It already exists, so I will say no. So no for now, and I'll cancel. But that is how you save your SQL. Okay, so now we're going to go into another thing today, another beautiful thing. Like I said, a project, right, for the last day, which is day 13. Day 13 is the last day, so I'm going to basically show you guys how it's being done. How, if a particular project is being given to me by someone, how do I handle it? How do I basically do each of those things step by step? You're going to come to this particular place. Let's create a new file for this particular project. So I'll come here and I hit on this plus. The first thing I'm going to do is to bring in a data set, and the data set is an employee data set. That is a friendly data set. I basically had to go and find that. But if you want to find that, you can go to Cargo and find that particular data set. So we're going to import the data set, right? Remember, in this Blue Ghost, in our last class, we have different type of tables, and you can see we have the Nuggets employee and we have the Nuggets seniors, right? So I'm going to show you how to import a table in MySQL. You come to this table, you right click, come to table data import wizard, this particular area. Then it's going to bring an interface just like this. So you browse through it's going to take you to your file explorer. You come to your employee data set. This is the data set. I open, then it's going to get the directory of where it is. Then the next thing is what you hit on the next. Then it's going to ask you if you want to use it as an existing table or create a new table. Is a new table, then you execute, click next. So it takes a little bit time. It's done importing the data. Then the next thing we're going to do is hit on the next, then finished. So when you're done, you're going to see everything. It has imported the table, every other thing that is needed. The data has been imported to MySQL. So all you just have to do, if you don't find the table around there, you refresh as well. So if you refresh, you can now see we have what the employee table. So follow this process carefully and you should have exactly what I just had. First thing I do is to analyze, to look at the data, to check the structure, to check everything that contains in that data set. That is one thing I always check for. You have to specify the database that you want to use, that particular data is found in. Then I'll say use Blue Ghost. So after saying use Blue Ghost, I run this particular area. You can see it's already been affected already. So the next thing I'm now going to do, I'll say select all from employee. I run that. So now I now have everything. So I'm going to close this window, this down window. So you just have to come here and you close it. So now I have a preview of how the data set looks like. So I can see I have the education, I have the joining year, I have the city, I have the payment type, I have the age, I have the gender, ever benched, experienced in current domain, leave or not. Do you understand? Leave or not means 0 or 1. Wow, this is a good data set, right? This is a very beautiful data set that I can work with. But as a data scientist, what I'm saying right now is different, right? What I'm saying right now, I'm saying futures that can presume if a particular employee will leave or not. But I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to analyze the data the way a data analyst will basically analyze it. I'm going to get the questions and I'm going to show you the step-by-step breakdown on how we get to each of this particular thing, right? The first thing I'm going to do is to understand the columns. I have to understand what is happening in this data, right? That is the first thing you do as a data analyst or a data scientist. Understand the data, what this data is talking about. So if there's anything I don't understand there, I have to go and make my research on each of those particular things. Like you can see in this education aspect, I understand what education is. That is different type of degrees, bachelor's, master's. I understand that area. Joining year, I understand when that particular employee joined that particular company, right? Then city, I can see the city of each of the employee. This payment type, I don't know it, to be honest. I don't know that payment type. So I'm going to get my research and understand what the payment type is, understand what age is, understand what gender is. Ever benched, guys, I still don't know what ever bench is, even though I understand. But for other people that are out there, experience in current domain, that means your experience is 2 years, 3 years, stuff like that, 5 years in your current domain. Then leave or not. 0 means maybe leave, 1 means do not leave, right? From the data set, they're supposed to explain each of these particular things, 0 or 1, what it means by 0 or 1. So from me getting the data set, you should see a preview of what the data set is all about, right? But if I still don't understand, I can still go make my research and stuff like that. If you don't understand something, you can't analyze it. It's as simple as that. So before you even attack the question, understand the columns, understand the stuff. Then from there, you can basically see insights on what you can do with that particular data set. It's as simple as that. I'm looking at this data set. I can see that I have to understand what this payment type is. I'm here in Kaggle. So you can see about the data set, and now you can see education is the qualifications of employees, including the degree, institutions, and the field of studies. And you can see the joining year, the year each employee joined the company. I was correct, indicating their length of what service. The location or city where each employee is based or works. Then payment type, categorization of employees into different salary types. Okay, so I'm going to go back to this data set. So 3, 1, 2, is it that there are some people they pay 1, 2, 3? I have to basically still understand that aspect. I still don't understand it, but I know they are segmenting each of the employee into their own salary type. Ever benched indicates if employee has ever been temporarily without assigned work. Wow. Indicate if an employee has ever been temporarily without assigned work. That means if the employee has ever been kept aside or never been given any work before, just being there is not working, right? So experience in current domain, the number of years experience. I was right about that. Leave or not a target column. This one now, they're saying the target column means use all these features to determine if a particular person will leave the company or not. So that is what they want me to tackle. But I am not doing that, right? I'm just basically going to analyze everything. But if you want to see stuff like this in this course, you have to subscribe. Stay tuned, subscribe, like this video, share them. I see the encouragement. I will keep giving you guys good content, right? I think the only thing I don't understand here that I'm finding a little bit difficult is this payment type categorization. I don't know if the payment type, they are basically saying if 1 belongs to lower payment, 2 belongs to, like that, or 3. I don't know how it is, but I'm going to work with what I have here. But these are the questions that we have here. What I'm going to do is to comment out everyone. The first thing they want us to do, find the total number of employee in data sets, right? We're going to copy this question and we're going to come below this one and paste it. So to tackle this first question, the first thing I'm going to do, I'll say select I've already taught you guys how the select is being done. There's something else that we also have. We have the count, we have the sum, we have average, we have all those stuff, right? In MySQL, we have maximum, minimum. All those things are just we call them statistics kind of thing in MySQL. So I will say count. In this count, I will basically specify inside of it that I want it to what? Count everything. Can you see? Then after that, count what? All. I'll say has. This has, what does this has stands for in MySQL? Has is you renaming that particular thing or renaming a particular table to something else. So let's say you have a table this way and you want to give it another column name. You're going to see what I mean, but is you renaming or giving a column another name on where you're going to perform your results. So you're going to have a result, so and that result is going to be in a column. So that column you have to rename it to something. You have to use the has, right? So I will say what? As total employee from employee. That's the name of our table. So we add what? The colon. Don't forget the colon. We run this. You can see the total employee that we have is what? 4,653 employees. Those are the total numbers of employees that we have in this data set. So now the next question is what? We'll tackle what? Number one question. It's as simple as that. Just one query. Another one is what? Count the number of employee in the city. Now they are specifying in each city. Count the number of employee in each city. Okay, that's the second question. So below that, I'll paste it there. We're not going to write the query to count the number of employee in each city. How do I do that? I'm going to come here to see my data set. I can see, okay, this city. Make sure that is spelled correctly. But if you don't want to do it that way, you can open this data set from here. And if you open it, you come to the columns and you find this city, right? So you make sure that it's spelled correctly, either this way or this other way. So I'm going to say what? Select, then city. So the city, the C is capital letter. Then I will say count all from employee. Then group by. Okay, so here I think there should be a comma. Let me give you an example. Let's say you're in a class and I say group each student by their age in ascending order. That means you start from the youngest to the oldest. So when you're grouping something by, you are grouping each of those particular thing by something else. That means it's going to follow the order of that particular thing. So I say what? Count all from employee, group by what? Then we'll say what? City. Then we'll put this particular thing there. Then we run it. Now can you see? You can see in this city they have what? 2,228. In this other city they have 1,268. In this other city they have 1,157. These are the particular people that they have. So in this analysis now, I can see that in this other city that people work more from this particular city. They have more of employees from this particular what? City. Can you see the insight? Okay, paste it here. So remember, this is your result. You can see results, what it's basically telling you, right? What I'm going to do is to say select. So you double click here, age. Remember the hack. Then I would have something like AFG, which is average. Then inside of the average, what do they want me to calculate? Okay, by each gender. So I'm going to select what? Gender. I'm going to say gender, then average of what? Age. So this age is going to be there. Inside of those parentheses has average employee age from employee group by gender, like this. Okay, so let's run that and let's see. You can see male, the average age here is what? 29, and for female is also what? 29. Those are the average age for the gender. Different things you can analyze apart from this question. Now let me add something else here. I can say select gender, and in the gender I will say what? Maximum. So max of what? Age. Then I will say what? Maximum age for gender. Then I will say from the table, which is employee, then group by, you have to specify, group by what? The gender. Add your colon, then run it. You can see the highest maximum age for each gender is what? For male is 41, and it's also a female that's also what? 41 in this data set. So you can see, apart from the question, I basically derived my own analysis from it as well, right? So we'll copy this guy. Then, so the question says we should what? Find the maximum and minimum experience among employees in each domain. Select, then in the select, I'm going to choose what? The experience in current domain. So that is what I'm looking for. Then the question said I should look for the maximum. So I'll say max. Then in max, I will come over here. Then I will put in what? The current domain here. So I'm going to put what? Experience in current domain. I'll put it there. Then has max in current domain, then comma, then I'll have mean as well. In the mean, I'll also have this experience in what? Current domain. Then after that, we already have has mean current domain. Then we'll come down here, we'll say from employee. Then the next thing is what? Group by. Then group by what? Experience in current domain. Let's see that. So if I come here and I run it, so what we're going to do, we're going to change this one to, let's say by city, right? So we're going to change this one to city, and we double click on it. Then also we change this one to city as well, then run it. So you can see in each of the city, you can see in this particular city, maximum is what? 7, and in the minimum is what? 0. There's also someone that is what? 0. In this city, 7. In this one, 0. In this one city, like that. So now let's say I want to also look for age, right? Okay, so now we're going to say what? By age. So say age, and group by what? Age. So if you put age there and you run it, so you can see each of the age with the maximum ones that they have, right? So you can see for 34, there's 7 and the minimum is 0. So you can see 27 years of age. There's someone that is what? 5 maximum, and this minimum is still 5 years of experience in that current domain. We are done with this particular aspect. So I did 2 for you guys. The first question, they gave us the minimum and maximum experience among employees. Count the number of employees who have ever been benched. We already know what ever been benched is, right? So you see why I say always do your research for each of the columns or for those particular data sets. Let's just say they bench a particular player in a match, right? That particular player is still going to be paid, but at that point is not playing, is not giving any tax at that point, right? So in this data set, I can see that ever bench, there are some people that have never been benched. You can see no, and there are some that is what? Yes. That means they are employed and they didn't do anything. Yes, no, right? The first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to say select, then select the ever benched. Then after selecting the ever bench, I add the comma. Then I'll say count, then all has ever benched. Then from the particular data set, which is employee, watch what I'm going to do. Remember, in our data set, we have no, yes. So that means there are some people that have never been benched before, and there are some people that have been benched before. So we are now going to specify. We'll say where ever benched is equals to yes. Remember, people that have been benched before. Then let's add it and let's see. You can see ever benched. So in the ever bench, yes, you can see specified that yes, 478 people have been benched before out of the 4,700 and something. They have been benched before. You can see how you can basically write queries and you can come up with this type of insight. It's as simple as that. You have to know how to engage them. Any insight you want to basically find, you can basically find there, right? Now, my own insight, not them telling me what I want. I can basically now go ahead and say, let me know between male and female, who do they bench the more? I can basically still add it here as well. I can come here and I'll add it. I'll say select gender, comma, count all has ever benched from employee where ever bench is equals to yes. Watch, group by gender. Can you see that? I run it. This is nice. You can see we said what? Select gender, count all has whatever benched. Just the same thing I did. From employee, wherever bench is equals to yes. That means let's see who do they bench the more. You can see people they bench the more is what? Male. 299 for male and 179 for female. So now in this company I can tell them that, hey, your male are what? More benched than the female. Do you understand? But it depends. It can be that the male are much in the company than the female. So you can see how I basically still drive insight from this particular question. As a data analyst or a data scientist, you have to be curious. Do you understand? You have to satisfy your curiosity all the time. Okay, so that's what makes you an analyst. Let's go to the next one. Get distribution of employees across payment ties. Payment ties, like we said, they are categorized into different type, right? But I don't basically understand what 1 means, 2 means, all those things. They didn't specify about that in the data set. They didn't specify that. So I think I will just do the distribution, but I will just try to say maybe 1 is the lowest, stuff like that. But that is not what they said. So I'll paste this one here. Then below this question, we're going to perform an analysis on this question. The question is what? Get the distribution of employees across payment ties. So we say select what? Payment what? Tie. Then I will say count all, because they said what? Distribution of employees across payment ties. So I will say count all has employee counts. Then we'll say from employee, which is our data set, group by. Then group by what? Payment what? Tie. Okay, so we run this. In this area, I can see that 3,492. 1 is 243. 2 is what? 918. So can you see what I'm saying? I don't basically know what 1, 2, 3 means, but the way I'm seeing it, looks as if 3 is the lowest. 1 is maybe the highest. That means the amount being paid there is much. Let's say in 3 they pay them 50,000 annually. Then 1, let's say they pay them maybe 300,000 annually. Then 2, let's say they pay them $70,000 annually. This is what I'm saying. I don't know what it is, but the way I'm seeing much people are in that 3, it looks as if it's the lowest. So let's go to the next one. The next one is the total number of employees who left the company. But there's a lot we can basically do here. Serious, I can see a lot of insight I can drive here. I can find the total number of employees who left based on education. I can find the total number of people who left based on city. I can find the total number of employees who left based on age. I can find the total number of employees who left based on gender. Those are the things I can basically find inside. So if I continue doing this, I will take you guys time. That's why I say over here we love analysis. Our eyes does not see analysis and look elsewhere. But I'm just going to stick to the question, right? But we'll see if we can do 1 or 2. I want to see the age range of employees who left the company using MySQL. Let's find this total number of employees who left. It's simple. Select, we'll say count all has left employees, the column name we're giving to it. Then we'll say from the data set, which is employee, where left or not is equals to, so this is where I have to check. So I have to run this guy again to see what is there, so I can specify. So left or not, 0 or 1. I don't know if 0 or 1 is left or not, but I think 0 is leave, 1 is not. That's what I'm saying it. 0 is what? Leave, 1 is not. So I'm going to put what? 0. So 0 is what we're going to put there. Then we run this and let's see what happens. You can see left employees is what? 3,053 employees left out of the data set. So that's what I'm saying. Is too good to be true, because I don't know how 3,503 will leave. Let's see for 1. So let's say 1 is stay. So I feel 1 is what? 1 is the total number of employees who left. That's what I'm saying. In this data set, I wish they specified the total number, but I can basically see that they didn't specify in the data set. So it's not my fault. I feel like 1 is the particular people that left, right? 0 is not, why 1 is what? Leave. So but I can see that 1,600 left the employee, right? Because the remaining 3,000 is still there. Okay, so let's go to the next one. I'm going to basically find the age range that left the particular company. So I'm going to say select age, then count all as age range, or let's say left company. Then we'll say from employee where leave or not is equals to 1. Can you see that? Group by age. Okay, so let's run that. Let's see. I think the highest here is 226. 226 are for 27 age range. Do you understand? Followed by 28. 28 is what? 186 people left the company. Within 27 and 186, those are the people that are leaving, right? After 27, we have what? 26. 26 is 223. Then followed by what? 28. So 27, 20, 26, 27, 28 always leave the company, because I think because they are clocking 30 and they want to start up something before then. That is how it's being done. So you will not have known about this analysis if I just stopped here, right? So there's still more you can basically do with the current one that you have. Okay, so let's go to the next one. It gets the average experience of employees who have been benched. Wow, that is a good insight. I'm going to say select, and I'll say AVG, and in the AVG, I'm going to put in the particular experience in current domain. Then I'll say has average experience. Then they said who have been benched. Then I'll say from employee where ever benched is equals to yes. So let's see, and let's run that. You can see the average experience is 2.9, let's say 3 years. So starting from an experience of 3 years, most of them are always benched. Experience of what? From 2 years above is always what? Benched. Can you see that insight? That's a beautiful one. So now we're going to find the highest number of employees who have left the company. So the first thing we're going to do is to say select, then we bring in the city. Then after that we'll say what? Count all has left by city. Okay, from employee where live or not is equals to yes. Where live or not is equals to yes. Then group by city. So you can see this city what has left 1,633 has left that particular company from this city. Then this other city 791 has also what left that city. Also this city 629. So you can see grouping these things by the city helps a lot. So now they can know the particular people that left those company or why they left the company. So now the company can either say, okay, we'll stop employing people from this particular city or stuff like that, or they may basically consider, oh, is it because the particular place is far, or maybe they can be different things. But what me have analyzed for them is that telling them that, oh, your city, the people that are leaving the more is what this particular city. These all the employees above the age of 40 and their payment tie and the city. So they left the hardest for the last. So we should list all the employees above age of 40 and their payment tie and city. I'm not going to just stop at the payment tie. I'm going to still see their education. I want to see the joining year. I also want to see the gender as well. So those are the things I want to see, and I basically can do that, right? So the first thing I'm going to do is to say select. First thing they said is what? The city. So we're going to bring in what? City. Then other thing I also want to see is what? Education. The next thing I also want to see is what? Gender. The next thing I also want to see is what? The joining year. Okay, then I will say where age is greater than what? 40, because that's what they said, greater than what? 40. That's all. It's as simple as that. They just want to have the information of those people. So I will what? Run this particular thing. We have to basically be careful here. So unknown column city, why is giving us this error? Damn, I was keeping a streak. Can you see all this green stuff? I was keeping a streak, but no problem. We didn't add from. You always have to add that you're from. So from and what? Employee. So from employee, if you run this now, we should have these things there. So all these people are what? Above what? 40. So even though I want to add their age as well, I can basically still come here and say what? Age should be added here. So if you come here and we run this, so we can see their age truly. Okay, I can see some of them have bachelor's degree, some of them have this and that. Okay, so the joining year 2013, stuff like that. I can also want to see the experience. Let's also see the experience as well, experience in that current domain. So run it. Okay, so 0 year is 41. I can see from 0. Wow, so someone that is 40 still have experience of 0. So these are the analysis I've basically done, and I've basically seen an insight of what it is. So that is that about this particular thing that we've done here. So I told you guys it's an exciting one, right? I told you guys it's an exciting one. You can see how basically went down. We analyzed everything from starting from the first question till even our own insights. You can see how simple it is, right? Just only writing queries. So you can see how MySQL is being used even to analyze data sets. So that's that for this video. So if you know you've derived insight or you've gained something, the only thing you can basically do to show appreciation is like and also comment thank you. As this is the last day for MySQL. So the next thing we're going to go to is maybe going back to Python to revisit Python and see some other stuff we can also do with this MySQL. So like I said, if you need this particular data set that we used, I am going to give you the description below. You're going to go to Cargo, sign up, then you can download the data set. Like always, make sure you go through each of these particular segments, you understand them, you go into each of those particular classes. MySQL is nothing much complicated, unlike Python that took us several days, right? But MySQL is direct, the queries are user friendly, and it's easy to manipulate through, and that's how basically other analysts and other data scientists has basically been finding insight in each of these particular things. So if I want to derive a report with each of these particular thing I have right now, I can derive a report for this data set. So we're going to stop here for today. Like always, hit on the subscribe button if you are not What are you basically waiting for? Blue Ghost Insights got you covered in analysis, in the financial sectors, anything that concerns analysis. We are here, right? We are here. So like always, stay safe and stay profitable. Have a nice day.